Hey guys, it's Zhou with eXp Realty here in the Greater Toronto area, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I've been a real estate agent now for about 4 years. It's just about 4 years. And I remember when I first started as a new real estate agent, I wish that I had known some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you today in this video. So if you are a new real estate agent, or if you're thinking about getting into the business, then please stay tuned and watch the entire video, because I'm going to be giving you some tips that have definitely helped me, and these tips are definitely something that I wish I would have known when I first started. So make sure you watch the entire video. So the first tip that I would give a new real estate agent is learn from other people's mistakes. Believe me, you are going to be making plenty on your own. So any little thing that you can learn from anybody else, whether it be a mentor, someone else that you know that's in the business, or your manager, any little thing that you can learn from them that they've learned from their mistakes is going to be a bonus. You can do this by just simply asking a question. If it's your manager or your mentor or your team member, or again, just someone that you know, you can just bring up, what's one major thing that you wish you would have known when you first started? Or it can be as simple as, what are some tips that you can give me? When you're a newer agent, you want to absorb as much information as possible, kind of like a sponge, so that you can excel and, eventually just grow your business a lot more quicker. Number 2, keep it professional when you're working with friends and family. Now, as a new real estate agent, your first deals are probably going to come from your sphere of influence. And your sphere of influence are people that you know, they're your friends, your family, so on and so forth. So this is great because they are people that you already know. There's a sense of trust. You trust them, they trust you, and it can help make the process a lot smoother and easier. That being said, please do not make the mistake of letting your professionalism go, or just being, all the way comfortable as if you're just hanging out with family, hanging out with friends, while you are helping them throughout the process. For me, I always like to mix both sides, even when I'm working with people that aren't my friends or aren't my family, that I'm kind of meeting for the first time. Is you want to incorporate the fun, into the process, as well as you want to incorporate your personality and who you are, but without lacking the professionalism portion of it. So remember, when your friends and family are coming to you, they're coming to you because they trust you, and they trust that you will do a good job for them. And also keep in mind that, whether they're leasing a property, buying a property, or selling a property, it's one of their biggest decisions in their entire life. So it's not to be taken, as just you're gonna go hang out with your friend, or you're going to hang out with a family member. It's still to be taken very, very seriously. Coming in at number 3, set boundaries with your friends and family. So again, when you're starting off, you are going to be bombarded with a lot of training, either training that you've signed on for, maybe you've signed on with a coach that you're working with, maybe your brokerage offers a ton of training like we do, and there's just a lot to take in. Okay, you're going to be learning forms, you're going to be learning, how to talk to clients, what the processes are. You're going to be, learning maybe social media platforms, how to get yourself out there, how to build a personal brand. I mean, the list truly just goes on, and that will take up a lot of your time. So for me personally, when I first started in the business, I needed to set a lot of boundaries, because I knew what my goals were. I knew what I wanted to hit. I knew what I wanted to achieve. And again, personally, I know that I could have communicated those boundaries a lot better. What you'll realize is that because this is taking up a lot of your time, some of your family and friends won't necessarily understand. And that's okay, but it's also important that you communicate to them, you know, what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you eventually want to achieve and why it's important to you. You may, you know, end up missing an event or two, and that's completely normal. It is part of the business. You won't have to miss them all. But in the beginning, if you're going out there and you're starting to get busy, it probably will happen. And when you start to feel that happening, before you get super busy, it's always good to have that conversation with your family, with your close friends, and let them know that this is what's going on with you. And if you do have to miss an event, or if you can't hang out all the time, this is why, and that you hope that they understand. What this will do is this will help alleviate the internal conflict that you will eventually have when you do become super busy. Number 4 is set a schedule. Now that you are a entrepreneur, whether you're a part-time realtor or, you know, a full-time realtor, it's super important to set your schedule. You can be as detailed as you want. I actually prefer, you know, the more detailed, the better. You need to have a morning routine that's set, an evening routine that's set. You know, days that you want to follow up with your clients, with your leads, your social media schedule, all these need to be set. But don't let it overwhelm you. Take it step by step. So figure out your morning and evening routines first, and then put in throughout the week things that you have to do, whether it's following up with clients, maybe learning something new, and then also set your social media schedule. I highly recommend that you do have a social media schedule. It's super important, especially now. It's the modern new way of doing things that makes it easier for all parties. But definitely set a schedule. If you wake up and you don't know what you're doing, chances are you'll just loaf throughout the day, and another day will go by where you could have learned something, where you could have spoken to, you know, a new client, and yeah, where you could have, you know, gotten more business. Coming in at number 5, oh my gosh, this is probably the most important one. Well, it was for me, it is still for me till this day, and that is work on your self-confidence. So real estate is a mental game. You need to be mentally resilient. There is a lot of rejection. There is a lot of failure in this space. Again, you are pretty much an entrepreneur, so you will fail and you will hear a lot of no's, but at the end of the day, you have to understand that that's okay, and you can't take it personally. You need to learn from it and grow from it and apply so that it doesn't happen again, but you cannot take it personally and think that, you know, you're not enough or anything of the sort. So always, every single day, work on your self-confidence. I'm going to be creating another video towards that. Those would be tips that have helped me a lot, because I mean, self-confidence is everything. It backs everything that you do. So I'm super excited to be making that video for you guys as well. But please, every single day, work on your self-confidence, whether you want to do it through affirmations, whether you want to do it by just accomplishing goals that you promised yourself that you were going to do. It's super, super important, not just for real estate, but for all areas of your life. And the last tip I have for you guys is practice before you start. So we've all heard this before, practice makes perfect. Practice anything, whether it's putting together an offer for a sale, for a lease, putting together a listing presentation or a listing package, you know, knowing how to navigate through the systems to find homes, knowing how to do a CMA, you know, knowing how to talk to clients, how to, you know, set up your social media, how to work Facebook ads, how to put together an offer. I mean, there are so many how-tos in this business. Practice before you start, you know, especially let's say with showings or anything that you feel will be immediate. I would definitely start with showings first, which is probably the easier ones. Putting together an offer would be second, and explaining all the document. And then the last will be understanding the systems. Okay, so understand, you know, your multiple listing systems, understand how to work with electronic signatures, unless you plan to be signing everything in person. But I mean, really in this day and age, you should really understand how to work the electronic signature systems, whichever one that is. It's super, super important for you to know so that you can save time in the future and save your clients time. And that is it. It was super fun sharing these tips with you guys. These are tips that I use till this day. I believe in them 1000%. And I know that if you follow these tips, they will absolutely work for you as well.